I will need to pop off now. So you guys, good luck with everything, and talk to you later.
Do ciao ciao. Enjoy your game. All right. So, um, for the general meeting, I think the big thing that should be noted for everyone would be that there is a planned time jump next week, so more downtime days to be dropped. Um, Given the current date, I would say another. I think with everything's happening, I'd say another 30 days. Just judging from all the missions that have been popping off, all the things that have been happening. So another month passage, another 30 days granted. Um, Outside of that, things to note for the public, based on the region meeting we just had, we are likely going to be having a phase jump. So phase increase from 1 to 2, tier 1 players to tier 2 players, so level cap increase. In the next couple months. So not next month, but potentially early May. Still looking at the timelines based on the missions being run, but that is notable. Potentially earlier, depending on things again, but probably early May. Which will also be provided after this time period concludes. Outside of that, this week has been fairly busy for me. School has been slapping my face, so I have not had too much progression within the equipment guide. But the team is still adding it to World Anvil slowly and surely, so it's getting close. Other than that, though, I feel like there was something I was going to bring up.
Pending stuff for this week's discussion. Throwing Rumors update will be released soon. Pit fighting rework needs to have a set direction. Approval of Laddersmith's new professions for tools. Confirmation that the secondary stats for tools posted in patch notes are good to release.
Good to hear about the Throwing Rumors. Pit fighting, definitely need to go over that. Still, I have it marked as unread right now. As for... Man, my mind hates me. And I'm blanking. I'm on the third option. The third thing you mentioned. Can you repeat? Oh,
New professions for tools.
that's
I'll
right.
link it, hang on.
Yeah, those are good to go. Yeah. So if Laddersmith wants to slap them on to the World Anvil, or someone else in the World Anvil team, slap them on in there, they're good to be added. With the new professions, anyone who would be affected would be allowed a free swap to it. And this would just be if someone's like a farmer and want to be a herbalist instead. If someone's like a soldier and like, hey, I want to be a herbalist, no, you're a soldier. All right, and as for the secondary tool stats, those are good to be officially applied. Yeah. I forgot that we had the fancy stuff for Sunday Meetings channel. That's very helpful. It was very
Yes,
helpful.
it was. I made it so we'd have it all in one clear coat.
I really should start posting my own stuff for it so I don't keep forgetting what I want to bring up. Yeah. Anyways,
On the training end, need to schedule crafting training with you and the current group of aspirants.
yes, definitely. I believe my schedule is already posted in that channel, so we just need to get it scheduled. The peeps.
Yup, I'll compare it against their when 2 meets later.
Nice. All right. Other than that, I don't have too much to bring up. As again, it was been a busy week, so I didn't have too much to
rework.
note.
Did we release that yet, or is it still in dev?
The spell research rework has been released. It is up on World Anvil. It is ready to go. Feel free to patch note it, so people know that it's official. Oh, I remember now. I was going to bring up the travel days that we were doing the test for. That was the thing I was going to bring up. From the test, I think it's fairly clear that people are just using it as extra days, and that's it. Which was one of the things that people thought was going to be the case.
Yeah.
I figured, yeah, it's probably going to be this, but, depending on the numbers. So I think, at the very least, for the next downtime day, so next week.
And the future travel days are meant to be unconvertible, right?
Yeah, I think
we just
we
have
removed
them
that.
convertible for this test.
Yeah, so I think we just scrap the conversion option and make them a nice number of days that allows at least one jump. One free jump, essentially. Not like, free, but enough days that one can go from one region to another. Coverages are already a thing. In the travel downtime option, you can already just pay money to go to a different region. Let me go bring it up. It's been a while since I looked at that option. Downtime in the search bar. Which one is it? I don't like there's two options. That's weird. Okay. Let's see. It requires one downtime day and 500 GP per region moved. So that is the only cost. You can spend additional gold to travel via sea or land routes. Or sea instead of land routes, or even more gold to travel via sky routes. Yeah, it's super expensive. I actually did the math for that value, the 500 GP, and that was fairly accurate to what it would actually cost if a player tried to move from one region to another. Yeah, so one downtime day, 500 GP, or one could spend, I think, like 1,200 gold, I think is the cost for a scroll of teleportation, and they can just have someone teleport them.
Upkeep completed. I think almost every adventurer and civilian has submitted them, and I'll do another check later.
Nice. I don't want to scrap travel days entirely. One of the big issues that I, at the very least, had with the previous Living World was tied to the fact that someone could be in, say, Dabarak and then suddenly be in like Ord, as an example. Just the click of a button. It made a whole crap ton of issues, political side of things. It made a lot of continuity issues. It made so people just teleported around willy-nilly with no real sense of time or progression or anything like that. It did allow more RP freedom, so there is obviously a bonus for it. But with the mechanics that we have, especially with the likelihood of a war starting between Eldiria and Baruja, it's exceedingly important that there is a limitation on how people can travel.
Well, so it also helps that it's restrictive because it also helps RP events.
Yeah.
Like now, so imagine RP events happening, and everyone in the server who's a player can join. It is a nightmare.
Yeah.
At least this way, this cuts it down to people who are in that region. And if people want to spend days to go to that event, they have to spend the cost.
Yeah. Now, I think the big issue here that people have with the cost being so high in terms of hours spent or gold cost is one. It's the same issue I've been seeing a lot lately within the world, is that people want to have all their big shiny things right now and right then, rather than letting it build up as people progress in experience and level and wealth. Because if someone, for example, buys a carriage, the carriage itself is going to double their speed. So that's going to reduce the amount of time it would take to go from one region to another region by, like, it's going to be half the time, just by having a vehicle and a horse, or by having a horse alone. With a vehicle, you can travel more than just yourself. So, I think the big thing is people are not looking at the bigger picture here, and they're just like, I want my big bonuses now. Which has always been the case with travel, which is why we reduced it to the current listings of, I think it's like 10 days to get to another region without any modifiers at all. But the free days are more so because in base D&D, everyone has normal downtime days. Everyone has assumed amount of time that they're traveling. Everyone has assumed amount of time that they're adventuring and sleeping. So this is essentially just adding in those times that they're moving around, that they're traveling, as you are using these travel days. So if you want to use them, feel free. If you don't want to use them, it's fine. And I don't want to make it so it's so powerful, where one can just use all the travel days and hop from like Eldiria to Arlogus and then to Baruja, just like pop, like one free travel, or at least one downtime free travel. They would, need to spend whatever they would need to spend gold wise or whatnot to cross the border, but still, I don't want it to be too powerful, where we're just ignoring the travel itself. But I want it to allow people that if they did feel like changing regions, they shouldn't feel like they are losing the opportunity cost of other downtime actions. Yeah. Which is why if someone does want to just spend a fuck ton of money and teleport, they can. Teleportation is 1 hour, I believe. And that's just to like use the teleportation itself. It takes an hour to teleport. If we really wanted to, we could have a guild teleport edition where it costs a boatload of money and just have it teleport really expensive. But I don't want to make the Teamsters option, the just paying NPCs to help travel for you. So 1 downtime and 500 GP per region. Be super expensive because that devalues those who have invested or those who have put the resources towards travel. If we made it like, 1 downtime day and 20 gold, or even like 50 gold and no downtime, no one's going to pay a person who has built their character's whole idea around travel. Like if someone's like, I am a caravan guard, I am a guide for like the jungles of Arlogus, who would ever go to this player character like, hey, can you bring me through this region? And these characters are built with the idea that they will spend their downtime days to get everyone else who wants to travel to different regions. So it really devalues those characters too, which is a big issue. Yeah, essentially, people just need to buy the equipment, and travel comes much cheaper. A little bit. It does devalue that a little bit, yeah. But it is limited in that at most you're going to be able to help like one region.
Question about the level cap increase. Are we also increasing world tier with this, or is it just level cap?
They're the same thing.
Yeah. The world tier itself is what is our tier break.
Yeah. So like the argument to remove travel days, I can see. But we're still testing the system, so testing without the conversion is what I want to see. If people use it, cool. If people don't use it, then probably just scrap it. Because people aren't going to travel in the first place anyways, unless they were going to talk to like a guide. So,
I mean, if you also want to promote travel, you can do kind of what I do. I don't know if I know that's had some impact where like if you want to buy something that isn't native to your region, you also have to pay influence to buy it.
Yeah.
So like I know some people have talked about moving regions just because that exists in my region, and that's how I've been running it for that exact reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that would be interested in actually standard.
Oh, definitely, 100%. I know. We've already had people in the economy team drafting up documents for like a major regional economy system for like merchants to feel pretty merchanty. This is part of the equipment guide update as well, wherein the market spreadsheet that we've been working on is going to have every single item available to purchase. So like every single miscellaneous item, every single weapon, armor, magical item, reagents, so on and so forth, consumable in the guide. And it will have a drop-down toggle, which will change prices based on what region you're shopping in. And we'll be able to add, from a master sheet, adjust those values. So if, say, like Yagun, your character, if you were wanting to buy something from Eldiria, made from a metal that's not found in Eldiria, and you're in Eldiria currently, the price would obviously be adjusted because you're buying something that's not found there, and the math is already there. It's already going to be coded, which is why the equipment guide is taking so long, because we're trying to get this massive spreadsheet finished, fleshed out, so people can just use their personal sheet, which is connected to the master sheet, to buy their items.
I think we modified the regional resource bonuses too recently, right?
We have, yes. And that was in preparation for the economy, the market, especially we've been working on. Yeah, no, having an open market is pretty important.
Was just us planning, and it'll be implemented with next EG update.
I'm pretty sure it should be released right now. those values.
Gotcha.
But the guild, the main hall that we've reopened should allow for those open marketplace for selling of services. Yeah. Well, that's why the guild is a good utilization for it, because it does require it's in character, but it's not as strict.
Suggestion form is clear of discussion related ones. Anything in forum to go over? We've got
Oh no.
They've cut out.
balance forum or suggestion forum.
For you, there was a sphere change. The fear condition has been updated. I posted it into World Anvil updates already. I would just keep an eye on World Anvil updates, to be honest, because anything posted there should be in the change log. But fear is going to be having another update soon, anyways, so I wouldn't post the fear changes specifically, just because I'm going to be
Balance forum
soon.
just has player research and pit fighting rework. The former I'm working on with ladder and ND. The latter need you to review.
In terms of the suggestion box, though, and the question forum, there's a lot of questions still. Nothing that I would say needs to be gone over right now, other than the ones that are posted in World Anvil updates, just because those are the ones that I've already addressed and noted on World Anvil and should be posted live.
Repeat that. Sorry, was checking the forum.
Yeah, so for the Living World Questions Forum, nothing right now that needs to be addressed. Anything that has been addressed will be posted, or has been posted, in this channel, World Anvil Updates. So just for
Anything
the changelog.
important has already been posted in updates. Gotcha.
Yeah, so just go there and make sure it's in the changelog too. Yeah, for anything that you haven't already grabbed.
Suggestion
And
box.
yeah.
Anything that hasn't been marked / reviewed.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things I have not marked yet. Mostly because I need more time to look over them, and one of them is just the typos, wording, grammar updates, which is World Anvil team for the most part. Change cost per pound, so space adjustment. That one is, I have addressed that one. Apparently, there's new posts in it since I last talked about it. Potion enchantments. That one's waiting on the equipment guide update. Give Arcane Trickster and Eldritch Knight some love. That's on my docket. Vehicle travel feat. Yes, that is on my docket as well. Region modifiers and region info. That suggestion box should be applied. Any of our region modifiers, so like our locust being able to harvest more plants, more trees, more things like that, should be added to the channel. Our locust news, or our locust info, not our locust news, and so on and so forth. The different regions. That was that suggestion box. Yeah, those are the only ones that I haven't addressed yet that should be noted down. They can, yes. They should. Civilians, regardless of class, civilians of an adventuring class should be allowed to use the adventure downtime option.
At some point in the future, too, I want to revisit the adventure downtime option in general, because it has pretty good scaling compared to some others.
Yeah, I'm going to be adjusting those values too
Yeah.
before the tier increase.
Yeah, I'd rather see like perform a profession, rather see that monetarily increase, and I'd rather see sacred rights influence increase than basically I'm just looking at it from a standpoint. It doesn't make sense to do anything but adventure when it gives you the most out of all three between XP, money, and
Yeah.
influence, basically.
Yeah, no, adventure needs to be adjusted. I need to look through all the downtime activities, to be honest. I also need to add in the there was a suggestion box earlier regarding like criminal downtime options as well as options that are more spread out. So like one where you might be taking in downtime option to um, act as like a teamster. That's not what the suggestion is, just the first thing that popped to mind, but basically more options that allow for different people's focuses to be able to shine, because right now it's very focused towards like intelligence and wisdom characters.
Yeah, and I mean I understand that, but I think right now it should be, at least with where we are, more of the balance should be done first before we add more options
Yeah,
that
no,
could throw it off.
that's why I need to go through it again, make sure the balance is up to date, apply the sewing rumors update that Pi worked on, and then once those are all good, get back with balance team, make sure that they look good, and then go in and add the criminal ones and the new ones. Yeah, a lot of them need balance. Yeah, now that we've seen them in action, my original thoughts on this seems good, obviously is not the case. So yeah. In terms of if they're multi-classed, yeah, they should still be able to use it as long as they have an adventuring class, levels in adventuring class, then they can use the downtime action. So like anything that says prerequisite must be an adventuring player, otherwise known as a PC, will just say you must possess levels in adventuring class. That'll be the change. So yeah.
Well, they kind of need it because once they take that adventuring class, they no longer
Mm-hmm.
benefit from the extra days.
Yep. Anyways, I think that's all my major updates because I'm coming up on my time here. Anything anyone else would like to bring up while I read this thing that was just posted? Excellent. Yeah, definitely we'll be doing that from here on. Cuckoo. Anything anyone else would like to bring up? Things to note down.
Aside from a note that next time progression should be in 1 to 2 weeks, someone should make sure to ping the players for that today since VOD isn't always watched.
Yeah. It should be next week is our goal. I would have had it be this week, but we didn't have a meeting last week, so I didn't. We didn't obviously notify the players. So yeah, next week we should have a progression. Whether that's Sunday or Wednesday, sometimes next week. Anyways, anything anyone else would like to bring up? Things to note down.
We need to check the half feats thread, and we need to.
Are there new things for the half feats, Fred?
Relatedly, do we want to do the meteor drop as an Arlogas event?
Meteor drop?
Last I heard, I think Zyron was working on something and it was going to be in Baruja. And I think
Up to
Neb.
ND/regions.
Yeah, I think Neb was also interested in helping out with that.
Yeah, that was the one that was from the last major world event that occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that one's still in. Okay, I thought that one was
It got pushed back so that way people had time to move and stuff from
Gotcha.
what was going on, and it wasn't exactly
We'll follow up on
the
that.
best, yeah.
Even if it's not in this time period, the meteor will still be on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would I don't know if Siren posted it somewhere, but they have a document, I think, somewhere that they were working on it.
Cool. All right. Good.
The other balance thing is now that we have Ashen finally in poppable form, we need to fully push the changes.
Yeah. I need to go through it again and add those changes real quick. There are
Because
some
if
fair things for it.
because if we're gonna have a month off for that time change, ish or so, um, that does give people time to if they want to soft retire the character, it does give people more options.
Yeah.
Or since we have people going to 6 and up, once we push it through, it also allows us to see where multi-class is going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was actually planning on working on that this weekend, but then schoolwork. So, anyways. Also found out that the thing I thought I had until the 31st to work on, I actually have until the 27th. It has to be done by the 27th, so I the end of day 26 is when I need to turn it in, and I'm like, fuck. I thought I had a full another week to do this. So, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
We need to discuss the logistics of that more in Adventure. Definitely not gonna figure it out today, but it'll be similar to a normal time period, but probably with fewer game requirements so GMS can run fewer or the same amount if they want.
World events will be occurring every update. So we'll probably be rolling them the month before, since you're wanting a heads up. Just so you know. Basically every 3 months. Every upkeep phase. Yeah, sorry. Upkeep. Yeah, so I believe the next one is in May. We'll probably be rolling it in mid-April. The first Sunday of May, I'm pretty sure, is when it's going to occur. So it's the 5th of May. Yeah, the 5th of May. So I'll probably be rolling it on the 14th or 21st, just so you have time to you and the RP Events team have time to work on it. Yeah, so I think the goal is to have the tier increase occur around the same time as the upkeep phase. It would work out quite well. Yeah, no worries. So, I mean, the meteor thing was more of just here's a thing you guys can use if you want to. It wasn't like a requirement. So it was definitely not intended to be a do this now, burr, you're on a timeline. It was more of a, if you want to use this plot hook, feel free. Yeah, I get you. All right. Choo. Anything anyone else like to bring up before I need to pop off? Cool. Waiting a moment to see if anyone speaks up. Not seem to be the case. Indeed, perfect timing indeed. All right, good stuff. Appreciate everyone's help. All that good stuff. Everyone from showing up and working on systems and whatnot. I need to pop off. Need to get some breakfast before I finish my last minute prep for the game I'm running in a couple hours. So, you all have a good one. Blah, 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 blah.